All right, here we go, functions. So week 3, we're going to continue our cycle of working on upper body strength on the Monday. So if you guys remember, same scheme as last week: bench press, seated dual, dumbbell overhead presses, and banded pull apart. So really just working on different angles and different kinds of um, muscles on each one. So the bench press is going to be kind of the bigger movement, and then the seated dual dumbbell presses are going to be more of like your secondary movement, and then the pull aparts are designed to be that last kind of drop set or burner movement at the end, just finishing off with higher rep ranges, smaller muscle groups. Starting with bigger muscle groups and more of a complicated movement down to a more lower skill movement and smaller muscle groups. So, really targeting the upper body today. And as you guys have heard before, if you haven't heard my previous videos, it's about kind of learning your effort levels and those ranges. We're working to 1 to 2 reps in reserve, and that's going to really force you to pay attention to what it feels like in your body when you're doing the movement. Sometimes we're doing exercises and then all of a sudden we're like, oh, I need to take a break. Like you've kind of hit your max. And so I want you to kind of learn like when you're kind of getting into that yellow zone or when you're getting into that red zone of your movements and the fatigue is kind of kicking in, try to be a little bit more aware of when those are happening. And that also helps you with endurance and just more awareness of your fitness when you kind of even do workouts so that you can adjust your pace, be able to kind of find a pace that works for you so that you can be more efficient with your movements, take breaks when you need them, as opposed to kind of hitting a wall every single time. So that's another cool little skill that you can develop beside the strength is the awareness of the effort levels in this one. So the first half is focused on that with the upper body strength. The workout, straightforward. We're doing some rowing intervals just like last week, but instead of in meters, we're going to be focusing in time ranges. So we're going to do a 30-second interval, 1-minute interval, 90-second interval, 2 minutes, and then we're going to work back down to 30 seconds with 1 minute rest in between. So the goal is to get as many meters done as possible in each interval. I'd track those meters and just kind of get a sense of how fast you're going in each one. And then even compare it to last week, like how much did you row in meters last week? And then compare it to how much you got completed here. So this is almost like a quick little flip. The 30 seconds of rowing should be similar to that 100-meter row from last week. Maybe some of you guys actually finished 100 meters last week a little faster than 30 seconds, but a good way to kind of look back and compare to see how that is. But we're working on rowing intervals to build our endurance and also work on the rowing mechanics as well. Wednesday's workout, as you guys know, we're going to be working on the coordination of movements. So we'll do a quick little assessment of coordination for our body, and then we're going to focus on the scapula and the wrist. The goal is to really be accurate and controlled with our movements. We're going to work on a little bit more complicated movements like circles and figure eights to really kind of fire up certain brain areas so that we can work on that accuracy component. And the idea again is like really being focused on, am I doing the right shape of movement when I'm moving my shoulder blade or when I'm moving my wrist? Just creating that awareness around it. So that's going to be the focus there, and it's going to lead us into our workout where we have 3 rounds for reps, 1 minute of ring rows, 2 minutes of push-ups, 3 minutes of squats. Kind of laid out very similarly to the workout Cindy with the pull, push, and the squat. The idea here is we're working on some strength, we're working on endurance, but also there's some postural kind of components to this too as well that I want you to be really aware of. So when you're in the ring rows, I know it's working the arms, but think about lengthen the spine. But even with the push-ups and the squats, try to stay nice and upright to really kind of get the core muscles engaged and also get more out of the movement itself. When we're in a kind of more sloppy, kind of poor posture, we're not actually getting a good signal to our peripherals. We're in a position that's not ideal or as strong. So let's focus on posture alongside these movements too as well. But you're going to get a good workout. The arms are going to get a good one, and the legs as well with those time domains on each one. Thursday, we got our joint mobility day. So similar to Wednesday, it's more about kind of just creating awareness. So we're going to focus on the elbows and the knees today. And the idea is going to be to just create awareness of the joints and how they actually move, making sure we can control it. We can create different, do it from different positions. So being able to get a full rotation in our circles or in our elbows or our knees from different positions, and just creating a bigger and broader map of our movement maps in our brain. So when we go in the real world, we have a lot of capacity to move in different ways. So we're not just locked in and we can only do squats or we can only do lunges. It's like, okay, we can move our knees in so many different ways. We can rotate them in, rotate them out. We can be in different kind of awkward positions. And that helps us kind of build even more protection against injuries too as well. So that's going to be the focus of the mobility work in the first half. And then our workouts straightforward. 5 rounds for reps, 1 minute assault bike at a tough pace, and then 2 minutes easy, just kind of trying to recover from that. So the goal is going to be to kind of just challenge the cardiovascular system in that 1 minute going at a tough pace. And then we want to see if we can just work on the heart rate recovery, try to bring it back down with a really easy kind of strolling through the park kind of pace on the bike with that 2 minute easy pace. That's our Thursday. And then going into Saturday's workout, just like a flip flop of Monday, we're going to do the same thing we do on Mondays, but just for the lower body, squats, lunges, and single leg calf raises, just like the same format as Monday. And then we're going to finish off with our workout, 10 minutes of strict dual dumbbell overhead press. These are standing. We're going to do 3 reps and then 3 calories on any machine. If you want to do it on a bike or on the rower, it's up to you. The idea is going to be really focused around that muscle endurance. So when we're doing the overhead presses, eventually it's going to get tiring where we're going to have to take some breaks as we do that. Also, I would say your cardiovascular system is getting challenged in this one with just naturally doing the machine work as well. So good little workout to finish off Saturday. And then if you're here for the community WOD, we got a fun little team workout of V-sits, arch raises, box jumps, and front squats. All these can be modified based on kind of where you're at. The goal of this one, guys, today is going to be focused around the midline, and we got a little bit of strength work too as well. If needed today, it's like V-sits can be sit-ups, arch raises, probably most of us can do, but also can be modified to a smaller range of motion if needed. Box jumps, we can do some kind of step up, jump down variation, or even jump up onto a plate, and then just load the front squats or use a kettlebell that best suits you and go to a range that makes the most sense. But a great little workout that you can do in teams of 2 or 3 to finish off the week. Hope you guys are looking forward to this week and you guys had fun with the open workout too as well. Don't forget to sign up for that. There's going to be different skill levels for every workout. So there's something for everybody in this one. And it's going to be a lot of fun doing the CFW games one last time at our current location. So I'll see you guys in the next week.